Hi guys, welcome back to Curls and Sports with Erica, and I apologize for the delay on this fourth video, I believe. We're growing, but I figured that it was actually, everything works out for a reason, and there's a lot to talk about that was released yesterday that was also going on this morning. And I also want to apologize for my appearance. I kind of want to make sure that my curls are out, and right now they're not. I like to think of them as a trademark, like, oh hey, there's the girl with the curly hair, but now I'm just the girl in the bun. I kind of look like Tinkerbell right now going on, but this is what women do when we don't really want to deal with our hair. So just in case guys watching, this is why a lot of women just put it up in a bun, because it's easy to deal with. Put a couple bobby pins, you're out the door. Takes 2 seconds to do. But anyways, moving it along to the important stuff, the news. So, Katt Williams. I know that a lot of people might have seen the video already, and I apologize again. I'm going to get better with editing and include the video somewhere here or up here. I'm not too sure where exactly it's going to look based on when I start editing stuff and adding in video so you could see it. But apparently, based on what a lot of people are saying on Twitter, he punched a seventh grader in the face, and then the seventh grader came after him on some WWE or UFC style. Like, everyone was like in shock, and he had him in a chokehold. And a lot of Twitter users, like, of course, they came up with the wittiest of responses to it. But at the same time, a couple of people did say, like, this isn't even funny anymore. This is very, very alarming. And you can't help but side with them, because at the end of the day, like, you're just concerned. Like, a couple of people say, like, he's the local crackhead without even trying. Like, it's terrible to say, especially since a comedian of his caliber isn't really even taken into account anymore. He's kind of just thrown to the side. I wasn't really ever a fan of Katt Williams, but it just sucks to see someone go down that road and you're just like, you can't even really help himself out. It's kind of like Johnny Manziel, if you want to put it that way. Moving it along, enough of Katt Williams for one day. This past weekend, I covered the NCAA tournament, rounds 1 and 2 in the Barclays Center, and it was so much fun. It's crazy to see how college basketball fans are just super passionate, especially Michigan fans. Michigan fans, you people will drive to see your team, and you will probably be the absolute loudest. Well, Sunday was definitely a heartbreaker. SFA almost pulled the upset. I don't know how Notre Dame didn't even, like, I don't even know how they came across with that win, but they're definitely going to be challenged in the Sweet 16. I don't think they're going to make it out of the Sweet 16, to be 100% honest. And their program shows, too, that they need to regroup after the Sweet 16, like, if they want to make past it. Because if you really think about it, they were struggling against SFA, and we know what SFA's program really looks like. I mean, they're growing, not to say that they're not great, but it's definitely a little bit on the alarming side. And Villanova is definitely out for revenge. I don't know what's going through their veins, but maybe they just keep thinking about the little fluke girl. Not little, the fluke girl who was crying because they lost last year, and they've just been great aggressively, offensively. All of the leads, they've just been dominating on the court, and it's great to see that. So moving it along to another sport, of course, like I've told you guys, I cover the Knicks, and Carmelo, I really, to be 100% honest, I thought he was going to leave the city. I wasn't expecting him to sign with the Knicks again, and I'm kind of happy he did, but at the same time, I feel like it sucks, because a lot of people, like, he's young still, and by now, he maybe should have had at least a championship. He's a great player, but the team right now, they need so much to do. Like, right now, he said recently that he's saying that he kind of regrets coming, not really regrets, he didn't use that word. He said it's come back to bite him in the ass. And it kind of has, because if you think about it, he's the only one, and then you have Porzingis, so you can't just put so much pressure on a rookie. There's so much other aspects of the game. Like, they still need a valid point guard. Like, there's so much points, and then also a coach. Like, Rambis, he looks a little bit too laid back. Like, he's just, like, on some beast mode stunt. I'm just here so I won't get fired. That's basically it. And just a quick side note, I'm competing with the sunlight because I kind of lost track of time. So if you see me just shifting it along, it's because of the sun, just kind of like I did right now. So moving along, Clay Anthony early. Also, he returned to the court on Sunday night. He played for a few seconds, but he said he felt really good. So, if you guys recall, he was shot outside of a strip club in Queens a few months ago. And he's just recovering from that. So hopefully we'll get to see him soon, at least in the next couple of games. The playoffs are definitely around the corner. I'm not too sure who my pick is. I'm trying to make sure that my bias is out of it. But Saturday night's game was incredible. The Spurs beat the Warriors, and it was just insane to see that game from start to beginning. I think that Spurs had definitely a lot to prove, because if they had lost, they would have said, you know, oh, the team is super old, they can't compete with these young guys, etc., etc., etc. And, you know, I guess the Warriors, not to say that they're not humble, they're young guys. They want to, you know, they're eager for a win. They just want to, if anything, they should break the record, which I think that they probably will break the Bulls record. But we'll see what happens, especially since March is finishing up so soon in the playoffs. Like I said, we're right around the corner. So moving on to NFL, Richard Sherman has been in the news lately, and he kind of has been criticizing Roger Goodell, which is the NFL commissioner. And he said he's foolish and he's never played the game, so he's just a suit. For those of you who don't know what the term just a suit means, it just means like literally a man in a suit who is kind of like in charge and never really experienced what other people have. So you kind of say like a yes man could be a suit, for example. And I'm not too sure, like I understand Richard Sherman's point, especially from a player angle, and a lot of people aren't really happy with Roger Goodell. A lot of people are asking for his name to basically be banished from NFL, but who knows if that's even gonna happen. And unfortunately, there is some sad news to report. Trey Walker, he was the cornerback for the Ravens, and he died in a motorcycle accident over the weekend. It's really, really tragic, really, really young, and just as stuff like that happens in sports, it just really makes you, you know, wonder about life and just make sure that you live everything as it is your last, and just makes you appreciate life a lot more, especially since you're here still on the planet. But we wish, you know, his family get through this tough times and stuff. But I don't mean to bring it down, but you know, that stuff is really, really worth reporting. People, you know, it's favorite players and stuff like that. So, the last point I'll make with the NFL, Bernie Sanders, he said that the Redskins are, quote, a good football team. Now, he also chimed in and said that they should change their name. Now, that's a whole different ballpark, and we're not going to get into that because we're going to be debating for a long time. But good football team, they're not good. They're all right, but they're not the best. A good football team would be maybe the Patriots, and that hurt to say as a fan of another team. The Giants are a good football team. There's a whole bunch of other teams that are good, but Bernie Sanders really needs to check his definition of what the term by good means. And moving it along to a little bit of baseball news. There's a lot of drama going on right now with Adam LaRoche because he retired. It's weird, but let me just tell you guys a story. He basically retired because they forbid him to continue bringing his son to the clubhouse and to the locker room, and he said that he didn't want to risk his time with his son or end up missing out on good stuff. So he decided to early retire because they basically told him, "Can you stop bringing your kid?" Now that just is terrible, but at the same time, there has to be a little bit of a border. Like, this is professional, and at the same time, maybe it bugged a couple of people to see his kid there every day. But there's been a lot of fans. There's been a lot of players showing solidarity because they missed out on their kids growing up. Like, if you think about it, there's 162 games in a baseball season. You're more than half away from home, so you're missing out, like, I don't know, your son's first tooth dropping or not dropping, falling out. Like a bike ride or stuff like that. So I understand his point, but there's definitely more to that story than what's on the news right now. And bat flips all of a sudden are controversial, and I'm just so sick and tired of it, especially when NFL players get to celebrate, NHL players get to celebrate, all these other players get to celebrate, but all of a sudden just the old school baseball fans have a problem with it. Baseball needs to change. That's that. It has to change because it shows in the fan base, the numbers. And all of a sudden, everyone is just having an issue. They're saying it's unsportsmanlike conduct, but yet when a pitcher is kind of throwing you an inside curveball, they can get away with it. When they go like that, you can't show any emotion all of a sudden. That I don't agree with at all. And I think showing emotion is great for the sport and entices people to say, "Oh my God, baseball is exciting." I hate when people say that baseball is boring. I don't see it that way because it's my favorite sport. But I understand where people are coming from when they say it's a boring sport. So I respect that angle. But David Ortiz also decided to sound off on that, and I love the way he said it. He said it, and I quote, "Take it like a man," and that he's directing it towards any pitcher, and just make better quality pitches next time so I can face you. So, and he also said the same thing, pitchers celebrate too, so what's the big deal? So you're allowed to celebrate, but I'm not. There has to be a clear definition there. Either there's no celebration or there's partial celebration, but something needs to be figured out. And to round it off with some not some sports. I already finished my sports. Actually, no. One more thing. UFC is finally legal in New York City, and I just can't. It's just gonna be so exciting. I just don't even know who's gonna be the first fight here. I'll just go whoever it is, because it was such a ridiculous idea to see it banned for that reason, because they felt that an MMA is too violent, but yet the slashings on the MTA aren't violent, but no one's really doing anything to stop it. So where's the middle ground? I know that's a terrible comparison, but to say that UFC is really, really illegal, but then there's boxing in the Barclays, there's boxing in MSG, it's the same thing. It's a hop and a skip away from being, there's not much of a difference. It's probably just kicking. That's it. But moving it along, because we're running out of time, but The Walking Dead, Carol leaving. I am sick of her leaving. And I had a best friend of mine feels that she's going to die. And I don't know if I agree with him, but seeing how her character is kind of developing, and another friend of mine said the same thing, when a character reaches the absolute potential, like they reach their yeah moment, like, oh my god, I reached it, I opened my eyes, that's when they're dead. So I don't know if the group is gonna go after her. I kind of hope they don't. I kind of hope they just let her be, and if they want to bring her in somewhere down the line, be my guest. But they have bigger things to worry about right now. Like, Negan's people almost killed Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita. They killed the doctor, which I wasn't too mad about, because she's not really a doctor. But I mean, it's still a death, and especially when she was like in the heat of a moment. You are worth something, you know, you're here for a reason, and then an arrow goes through her eye. Poor thing. Eugene pulled a Lorena Bobbin on the Savior's, on one of Negan's people, and it was insane the way he just bit his crotch. And I watched The Talking Dead afterwards. The actor had to wear a cup just to make sure that Eugene really didn't bite his, his penis. Well, I still believe that we're 2 episodes left. The season finale's coming up literally right around the corner. They're definitely going to show who Negan is. That's what the producers confirmed. And I'm just nervous to see what's going to happen and how they're going to show this momentum. Like, how are they going to keep us on the edge of our seats? That's the point that we're just like, where is October, and can it hurry up faster? But I still think that Abraham is going to die at the end of the season. From what I looked up on the comics, I don't read the comics, just a disclaimer. I just Google like anyone else. And I'm glad that the show, that the creators also said that they don't go exactly. They're not just translating what's in the comic book to the show. They're doing different things differently. I think that, according to the comics, Negan kills Abraham. So that's another reason why I think he's going to die. But I don't know. I'm just not really feeling Abraham's character. Maybe it's because Rosita. Maybe I'm just being a girl and just choosing sides, but alas, that is all I have to say about that. And again, I promise that I will start for real, delivering this on Mondays. And that is all for now. I'm sorry, I think I definitely have pushed the limit, because I know I'm competing with attention spans these days. And please let me know in a comment below what you would like to see me talk about more. I'm going to start watching Daredevil, Narcos, How to Make a Murder or Make a Murder. I don't know. It's literally, my show list is like this. It's on a post-it, because if I don't keep it organized, I'm not going to watch anything. I'm in the middle of Fuller House. I think it's really, really cute. I still have like a couple of other Orange is the New Black, but that's about it. But guys, thanks so much for watching my video. And of course, thank you for supporting. And I apologize again for this bun. Subscribe below, and of course let me know your thoughts. If you think about The Walking Dead, UFC, baseball, NFL, anything you think I might have missed, please let me know. And of course be sure to include it, just to cater to everyone's needs. Bye.